All right, let's go. Here we
Hey, what's
go.
up?
Here we
What's up,
go.
everyone?
I'm gonna do say hello to everyone, man.
What's up? What's up, everyone? Happy whatever the day is today. I think it's Thursday. We're live today, guys. Today, this topic, you guys are gonna love it. The number one DM that I'm sure Mr. Captain get and I get is Mamadou, how do I comp a property? How do I underwrite a property? I called a seller and they say they're potentially open to it, or they said, make me an offer. I've talked to a real estate agent and they said, make me an offer, but how do I come up with the offer? How do I actually comp the property or underwrite the property? Guys, I'm your host, Mamadou Diallo, badass creative acquisition strategist, and especially pre-foreclosures. Actually, I do everything, raise private capital, everything. I'm going to let Mr. Captain introduce himself. Let me bring him back on the screen. Boom.
There you go. All right, as you guys know, I'm the captain, the property captain, Yasser Atab, aka Badass Closer, aka Badass Foreclosure Specialist, and certified probate expert since 2001. And here we are. We're looking to provide some serious value to you guys. We're taking the gloves off, guys. Is that right, Mamadou? We're taking the gloves off, right?
100%.
And teaching you guys all about step by step from the beginning to the end foreclosures in this 20-part foreclosure series. Maybe it might be 25. We'll see. But the point is, we're going to get you guys there so that you could talk foreclosures, do foreclosures, and dominate. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to bring Mamadou back, and boom. Oh, wrong one. There you go.
Boom, guys. So one of the most important skills, guys, you can learn when it comes to real estate. Honestly, if I had to go back, the first thing is these skills right here, right? This skill right here is knowing how to underwrite a property. Now we're gonna go over these terms because underwriting and comping is absolutely not the same thing, guys. It's absolutely not the same thing. They're two completely different things. But the reality is, whether you want to be a private lender, or you want to be a wholesaler, or you want to take down a property to flip it, regardless, you need to know what a deal look like. If you don't know what a deal look like, I can send you 250 opportunities per day. You wouldn't be able to capitalize on it. Why? Because you don't know what a deal look like. So the first thing I advise everybody to start by learning and how to underwrite a property. What is comping? Guys, comping is very, very literal. Comping is essentially comparing a subject property that you're looking at, comparing it to its, same kind of property. So apples to apples, right? Let's say you have a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. You're trying to find a property in that area, and we're gonna go over, Mr. Captain have a badass sheet he's gonna share here and show you exactly the criteria you need to pay attention to. But it's basically you trying to compare your subject property to a property that has been fully fixed up and see, hey, if I take this product right now that needs work and I renovate it and I list it on the market and I sell it, how much can I sell it for? That's what you're trying to determine. And then after that, you're also trying to find comparables, apples to apples, that sold as is, very close to the condition of your property for what it is now, and see how much you should pay for it now, today. Number one rule, by the way, guys, from Warren Buffett: do not buy a property based on what it could be in 12 months. Buy it for what it is now, okay? So that's number one. Number two, when we say underwriting, what do we mean? Underwriting is typically when you're buying a property using a strategy we call creative finance. This is when we buy properties by taking over mortgages. This is for buy and holds mainly. When we buy properties by maybe like the seller owning free and clear, and then we upgrade them to be in the bank. So they finance us and we give them a down payment, X, Y, and Z. And so at that point is underwriting, right? So that one, I think, did we do it last time? I
Yeah, we
think we
did.
did it.
Yeah, it was full blown
Last
underwriting,
time,
man.
actually, yes, guys. Go back to the last episode from last Thursday, and you will see we went deep into like super visuals, shared the screen, and showed you how to underwrite. So today we're gonna specifically focus on comping, and this is for cash deals mainly. Let's go, bro. What you anything you
Love it.
want to add?
Love it, love it, love it. Yeah. So no, let's get into it, man. I'm excited about this. This goes back to my homage, back in the days as an appraiser. So I really enjoy this topic really a lot. And you said something very very important here. If you're brand new to real estate, this is actually one of the first. It's like the foundation of
100%.
any real estate investing. So besides underwriting, this is comping is very important. So let's jump into it. So I have some rules. Who likes rules? I don't know. You tell me. I'm anti-authority, so.
No,
But
no,
these,
you human beings dumb, but we need it, but we don't.
right. So you know, and we're gonna share some stories here too while we're doing this. So let me share this screen here and get this going for you guys. So let's work on it, and I'll explain this document to you guys one step at a time. Boom. So here we go. So typically with comping, you want to go through multiple steps, right? As you see here, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 step process. Okay. So we're going to go work through it. And then what we're going to also do is actually apply it. So the first half, we're going to be talking about it. The second half, we're going to be applying it. All right. So you're looking at a property. All right. Mamadou sends you a property to buy. All right. And you're sitting there trying to figure out what is this property worth if we were to, let's say, renovate it. Okay, great. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at what the property is. So I'm going to put 3 here. Well, it's not working, but 3. All right. So this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. All right, 2,000 square foot house. You're going to put all the details, lot size, when the property was built, and then you're going to go to our favorite website. What's our favorite website? Zillow.
Zillow, Uncle
Right.
Zillow is free. I love free. What do you call it? Yes, sir. Free.
If it's for free, if it's for free, it's for me, and it's $3.99 is my favorite price. I love it. So the reason why also we're going to Zillow is because when we are dealing with people who have very limited knowledge about real estate, they don't do it day in and day out like us. They're going to go to the resource, the first resource that they see online when they plug in their address, 123 Main Street, the first one that shows up on Google, typically Zillow. So, and Zillow has a Zillow Zestimate, right? And the Zillow Zestimate tells them pretty much based on the way things are going, this is what your property should be valued at. Now, is that true? Not always true, right? Because the property that's based on a retail value property. However, if someone is living in a house for 15, 20 years, it probably needs some work, right? So this is where this estimate, we work off of this estimate to see from the seller's point of view, the homeowner's point of view, what their property should be valued at, okay? But don't trust this estimate. Trust your comping skills. And but the estimate is the ballpark. Let's just say that. All right. So we're gonna go from there. Your subject property, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet, built in 1975, let's say, and this estimate says 200,000. Great. We have our starting point. Now we're gonna go into the basic level comping. There's several levels. The first one is you want to be able to stay in the same subdivision. Okay. Don't cross major streets. Don't, just stay in the same area pretty much. Okay. I'm doing. How many times have you seen people comp a subject property? When I say subject property, guys, it's our property versus a comp property. How many times have you seen people comp a property that's like 400 miles away?
all the time. Because they're trying to force the numbers, guys.
Yeah.
People lie, numbers don't lie. You cannot force the numbers. So if you need to cross a major road in order to find a comparable, guess what? Maybe you're in the wrong area. Maybe there is no cash buyers activity in this area, and you shouldn't waste more than 5 minutes comping that property anyway. Remember, if you have to pull up a spreadsheet, an Excel sheet, and then force the numbers and then cross major roads, and this is how you see a lot of newbies that are unexperienced or even unexperienced one, but are very unethical. Because I get deals from wholesalers all the time. My email is full of it, right? This is another tip. Let me know if you like it, Yasser, for newbies. For me, when I started, in order to get good at comping, here's what I did. I went on Facebook and I added myself in. So I went on this like wholesale Facebook group that are super active, that have a lot of like activity. And I added myself on everybody that is saying, hey, I'm finding deals. If you're a cash buyer, put your email, right? And the reason I did that is because I wanted to practice comping every single day. So if you send me deals, even though at the time I didn't have the money to buy it, well, every single day my goal was to comp at least 10 properties on Zillow and then see if the numbers are right. If they're not, I was just practicing. This is, remember, guys, the same way if you call in sellers. You got to practice on how to talk to sellers. So with comping, I advise you, if right now you're on your starting journey, You don't know how to comp. You have to practice this every day. So set yourself a target of X properties to comp every single day. Add yourself from buyers list. When you receive this, do not send them fake offers. That's not my point. My point is use these emails that you receive, because I guarantee you 99.9% of those deals are junk. You're going to find out really quick how many people out here don't know their numbers. So when you start doing it this way. Anyway.
I love it. That's a very good point. Just like everything else in the world, practice, right? Makes you very good at what you do. All right. So the more you're exposed to it, it doesn't cost you anything. Zillow's available to everyone, right? Practice. That's a very good one, man. I like that. So if we have a property that is 2,000 square feet, let's say, we're gonna go down and up, meaning that we're gonna find a range of, so it's not fair to comp a property that's 2,000 square feet to a property that's 4,000 square feet. It's much bigger. All right. The other property is going to be worth much more, meaning that if you're trying to force the numbers, you're going to try to fall for it and say, hey, my property is worth just as much as a 4,000 square foot house. It doesn't. Right. So the range that you want to do is essentially calculate 2,000, multiply 2,000 by 20% up and 20% down. So if you really want to range it up, just do 1,600 to, let's say, 2,400 square feet. All right. Just to do that. So after that, same property is same property. Apples to oranges. No, apples to apples, right? So apples to apples, not apples to watermelons. Okay. So single family house, Philly is known for this. Philly row home with Philly row home. Okay. I'm going to say that right for you, those of you in Philly and Baltimore. Okay. Philly row home, Baltimore row home is to a Baltimore row home. Okay. So the property has to be the same type. If you can't compare a ranch to a 2-story house, doesn't work.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's what we mean by the same property type. The lot size, typically you want to keep it within 2,500 feet range. So if your lot size is let's say 4,000 feet, 4,000 square feet. Man, where am I going with this? 4,000 square feet. Then you want to kind of keep it around 6,500. Okay. Up and down. Right. Built within the last 5 years. Guys, if it's built in 1975, you're doing 1970 to 1980. That's your range. Right.
10 years.
Why? Is because materials. Why, Mamadou? Because of the materials, correct?
Right.
So
because yeah. That's really key. This is why, like, you don't want to compare also a property that was built from, in the 1970s and up to a property that was built in the 1950s. It's not the same at all. I don't even if they're the same bed and bath count, same layout. Trust me, the inside, the type of renovations when you start opening the walls are not the same. And then also regulations when it comes to construction changed after, I think, is what, 1978.
1978, yeah.
1978. So every property in 1978 and up, okay, but 1978 and below, like, you don't want to compare that with
I love that. Timeline. We usually go 6 months, okay? And sometimes you're going to run into situations where there's not enough properties in this last 6 months, all right? This is where this comes in. And if anybody knows the reference to this, Back to the Future. All right. Marty McFly, take the time machine, go back to the future, meaning go back 12 months. It is better to stay in the area and go back in time, going back 12 months. Now, be careful. This is a disclaimer. Don't go back too far. Right. Because prices in 2020 are completely different than 2023. So don't go back too far. Go back 12 months maximum. Okay. So after that, don't cross major roads. Oh my God, I see this all the time, bro. One property here, a major highway, and then they cross and they're like, guys, even if it's on this, like the road is a regular one street, right? One-way street. Some properties on one side could comp for 400. The other one across the street could comp for $1 million. So
that's Baltimore for you.
Yeah, that's Philly for you. So that's why we go very, very close. So that's the basic level comping. All right. Now we go into, hey, what happens if the subject property, our subject property, is different than a comping property? Let's say I have a 3-2, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but I'm finding everything is like a 2-bedroom, 2-bath or a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. It's not exactly the same amount. This is where these adjustments come in. So if your property is better, if it's better, right, you're doing what? You're adjusting for the $10,000, 10 to fit 25,000. And what this is how much it would cost essentially with the current materials and labor to add an additional or remove a bedroom. All right. Same thing with bathroom. All right. You're comping if the other property is what? Worse, you're doing what? Comping for 10,000. You're adjusting for 10,000. All right. Garage, same thing. Carport, same thing. If it's multiple carports, let's say it's 4 carports and the other property is 4 carports and you only have 2 carports, you're adjusting for it 2 times. So meaning it's $10,000. And pool, you're taking or subtracting. You're adding or subtracting a pool, and that's essentially how that goes. So you're making slight adjustments, based on are they worse or are they better? Okay, makes sense. You want anything add on to that, bro?
No, this is very straightforward. You're gonna have to play with this because some areas like it's so tough to find, especially areas where they're great areas, but they're not like full fix and flip areas where you can find comparables. Like it's mostly like homeowners that have held their properties for 30 years, haven't sold. So it doesn't mean that the area is bad. It just means that it's an area where people don't sell often. So like you're gonna have to do it this way typically. It's kind of tough a little bit to find like strictly apples to apples. So don't look at this as black and white. Otherwise, you're going to leave money on the table.
Yeah.
So this is why it's so important. You go first 6 months. Now, for me on this market, because of the interest rates, I like to stay within 3 to 4 months max when it comes to comparables. But if I don't find anything, then I go 6. If I don't find anything, then I go 12.
Love it.
Because the interest rates right now is not even, the market is not changing within a year. It's changing within months, right?
Yeah.
So it keeps going up and down, up and down. So
I love it. Love it. Then we go into level 4, which is more, I think of this as more of the higher level, the neighborhood level. If your property, Mamadou, would you want to buy a property that is on a main street, traffic passing both ways?
Hell no. Hell no. Listen, guys. I'm gonna tell you guys a nightmare flip that we've done this way because I freaking overlooked this rule.
Let me guess.
I found a property in Washington, D.C. No, D.C.
Oh,
DC can even be worse than Philly and Baltimore. I found a property and this was a pre-foreclosure and I was so freaking. This is my early fix and flip journey. You know how you're so excited to get in the house and renovate? I just did 2 and I thought I was a badass. Freaking knucklehead, okay? Didn't know shit. So what happens is I got too excited about the potential spread. Now, mind you, here's the thing, guys. If you don't know an area, like meaning when I say you don't know an area, meaning like physically know an area, right? You might miss out on certain things because you're just looking up online, but you've never drove by, you didn't live there, you don't know what's happened 5 years ago and how the neighborhood changed, gentrification, all these things, right? So unless you talk to a local person, this is why it's so important. Another tip I'm going to give you guys, take the habit of calling a local real estate agent that had just sold the property and talk to them. Just have a conversation with them. And here's a script. Hello, handsome Mamadou. I know you're a realtor in this area. I'm about to buy a property on 123 Main Street, and I saw that you sold the property on 11 Main Street. And I may potentially work with you to list it back on the market when we finish renovating it, but I'm not familiar with the neighborhood so as well. How familiar are you with this area? Do you live here? Are you local? I'm talking about a real estate agent now. Because they want your business, they will tell you about the area. I learned this lesson after this mistake, okay? So here's what I overlooked. Gas station right across the street. Hell no. How do you say hell no in New York?
Bruh.
Bruh. Did not do it, right? I overlooked that. Then I overlooked this, Captain. On that side of the street, right? So where the house is, right where the gas station is, there's a red light. And when you pass the red light, the other side of the red light is the same street name, by the way. But the other side of the street where I looked up my comparables, they have front parking. You can park in front of the houses. But the one on my subject property, you can't. Why? Because there's more traffic, heavier traffic, even though it's the same freaking street name. So I just look up the street, same subdivision, and I saw a property freaking sold at 375, and I was like, "Ooh, man, these people are asking me. I have like $100,000 in spread. Fuck it, I'm doing it, right?" Major mistake, bro. Major mistake. So that means my property now, because of the gas station. Why, guys? Gas stations. Who hang out in gas stations?
Some really good people.
Some really, really good people. Okay. Definitely you don't want to be with those people at 11 p.m. at night, right? That's how good they are.
Right.
That's one thing. So who's your end client when you list the house? Is a family that's going to raise kids in this property. So what is the first thing to look at is the safety for the children.
Right.
So if the area is not safe, guess what? Not buying it, right? So that's one thing. The second thing is easy access. So because my side of the street, you couldn't park in front, you have to drive in the back and then pull in. That was a major, that was already, I had to if I knew it, I should have adjusted my price way down. I should have went from 375 ARV, which means after repair value. I should have went from 375, cut it all the way down to 340, literally. That much, right? And then what else was the major mistake? I mean, those two was already major. Oh, the bedrooms. Based on my comparable, mine was freaking they're super small, even though it's 5 bedrooms, super small bedrooms. Overlook that as well. So every family that is walking in, they're like, my kids cannot fit here. My kid is, I'm not going to say the word, but you get my point. Okay, guys. So yeah, this rule right here is so important.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. By the way, guys, the other thing too, there's an area in New Jersey. This is actually how me and Mamadou worked together. It was a house in Willenboro.
The haunted house.
It still haunts me until today. That's
that
for
house
sure.
was legit haunted.
Man, that house was legit haunted for real, bro. Like that was I got creeps. Like it was creepy walking into that house.
Yeah.
That area has power lines. Now we had listed a property not that far away from there. And there was a power line in the backyard. Right. And we're talking like these Eiffel looking tower, Eiffel Tower looking things in the backyard. And it's an easement running across all the yards. Okay. When I had someone that was trying to comp that and they were like, oh, this is a good property, but they were comping it against the property that was across the street. Now they didn't take into effect that into their mind that the power wires, that's actually pretty dangerous. And it creates a lot of, unseen harm to people.
100%.
Right?
100%.
So radiation, all that stuff. So that takes away from the value of the property. So pay attention to your surroundings, guys, when you're, and if you're not in the market, you're not in that area, the best thing on earth, Google Earth. Okay. You can see everything with Google Earth. So use that to your advantage. Use all the resources that you have online to be able to see this. Back then, there was no Google Earth. We had to send people in and take pictures of the neighborhood, right? With the Polaroid cameras. That's how far back I go. And now I'm dating myself. All right. So if the inconvenience, when I say nuisance, this is what I'm talking about. Nuisance, noise, traffic, anything that's going to inconvenience the family that's going to live in this property when you renovate it, this is where you have to make the adjustment and realize it's in red. You're not adding, you're subtracting. Okay. So if the nuisance, let's say in this house that's in Willenboro, right? This house was below 500,000. Okay, that's great. But the nuisance was in the back, right? So now I'm adjusting for that nuisance and I'm taking 10,000. So if the comps are coming in around, I don't know, 250,000, I'm removing 10,000 because of the nuisance I have in the backyard. However, if rightfully so, we were working on one in Baltimore that's on a main street. The main street is 2 ways this way with a divider with trees and then 2 ways the other way. Okay. That's a main street. So obviously the sound is coming from the front. So we're going to remove 15,000 from the value. Okay.
Yeah.
So if the house is worth, this is the killer right here. If the house is worth more than $500,000, Mamadou, you buy a house for $750,000. It's your first house. You work your butt off to get the down payment for it. And it's a 700, almost a quarter, $750,000 house. Do you want noise around you?
Oh, hell no.
Right.
I'm super picky. I'm super arrogant with that price point.
Right.
I've made it to the middle class.
Upper middle class. Let's just call it that, right? So if I paid a lot of freaking money for this, so what do? I don't want noise. So what are you doing? Now you're taking a bigger hit by reducing it by 20% from the comps. That's a big hit for a $750,000 house, let's say. Okay. So that's why there's 2 price points here, guys. All right. Then level 5, you put all your data into what you have out there. Okay. You put your price for comp 1, your sale date. That's important. Sale date, your bedroom, bath, square footage, boom. Then you go into comp 2 and comp 3. Mamadou, why do we have 3 comps?
Well,
why?
The reason you want 3 comps, guys, because number 1, for me, that shows you that this is a good area, right? So if you can find 3 comparables, that tells me there is activity here. That tells me there is cash buyers here if I just want to wholesale it. But also if I fix it up myself, I can be pretty solid that, I'll be able to sell this fast. So that's the reason why you want a minimum 3. That's like to me, from 3, I'm super confident on that deal.
Yeah, love it. So that's the levels. All right. And for everyone that's watching, try to commit this to memory. Because the best way to commit it to memory is like what Mamadou said, practice. Even if it's not your property, even if it's not your deal. Okay.
Yeah.
Practice so that the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. I don't even have to look at this thing anymore. Right. I haven't had to look at this thing forever, actually.
Absolutely.
But it's by doing it. So with that being said, that's the first half of our live, guys. Please put your questions in the comments if you have any questions about what I just covered. With that being said, Mamadou, it's your controls, man.
100%. And guys, we live in a speed, like our business is very speed driven. So, time kills all deals. If you're marketing to make your offers, you want to make them fast. So if you're like, hey, I don't want to bother putting myself on wholesalers list, whatever, listen, go on Zillow and find for sale by owners. Do not call these people. It's a waste of time. Absolute waste of time. But practice on those properties. See how unreasonable these sellers are. Right? It's so easy. It's absolutely free. You can every single day just have a target sheet, 10 properties per day. By the way, doesn't take you more than an hour to do. Just FYI. If you do this consistently for a month, 90 days, whatever, I promise you'd be a badass at comping and making offers really fast, locking up properties. I know most of you, the reason you in everybody's DM saying, hey, help me comp, is because you're not even trying. You're absolutely, so this right here, what I gave you is free. It doesn't cost you anything other than time. If you're not willing to do this, that tells me you're an individual who is not serious about the business, and you absolutely deserve to not make money in this business. With that being said, we're going to jump into, guys, we're going to comp a property really quick on Zillow. I love Zillow because it's absolutely free 99. Free 99. Yo, we need to add some freaking buttons here. Like when we drop bombs, you just click on it. Boom. Or you can have like a, let me see. Okay, guys, so let me pull up this property right here. Guys, this is a property we're about to have on the market. We are currently renovating the property. Winter Circle here in Georgia. Finished renovating it. This was a pre-foreclosure. No, Conyers. Bam, 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 bam. Conyers. My computer needs some coffee too.
Yeah, man. And we need to put it on Coffee with the Captain on Sundays, bro. We need that juice. While he's loading that up, guys, I'm going to tell you this. All right, it's really all about the practice. All right. We're going to keep on saying that because really this is the core foundation. When you build a house, you don't build the roof, then the walls, then the floor, right? You build the foundation first, the cement foundation. This is the ultimate foundation of any investor out there. Okay. If you don't know how to comp, you don't know how to underwrite, learn. Learn by doing, learn by working on even hypotheticals. Go right ahead and knock yourself out with hypotheticals and let people like me and Mamadou see what you did. All right. Bring it to us. Hey, this is the ARV, after repair value. That's why they call it that. Okay. There's also an as is value, right? So you got to kind of keep that in mind. So when you're comping against other properties, and I have to say this out there, I have to say this. It's like, hey, I don't mean to offend you, but I'm gonna offend you anyway.
I'm gonna offend you anyway.
So, sorry to all the grandmas out there. But if you are comping a property and you're looking at a property as a potential comp, if it looks like grandma's house, it's not an ARV comp. It's most likely an as-is comp.
An as-is comp. Yeah.
So if it looks like someone had lived there in that property for a very long time, there's wooden paneling, there's wallpaper.
Like this one. Look at this. This is exactly how we got it. So they had the granny wallpapers from the 19. I don't even know what year, bro. Can you see the screen?
Yeah. Oh, look at it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's go.
You see that? This is exactly. No, actually, no. We got it worse than this because you see this area right here. It looks really good in this picture. I think this is the way it was when they bought it. And then they made it worse because there were filthy, nasty human beings.
Oh, man. Here. That's horrible. That's
horrible. So this property actually looked nice the way it is. But when we got it, this was a pre-foreclosure door knock. We're currently renovating it. You guys are going to see we did a beautiful renovation. Like this thing is all black now.
Nice.
Super, look really nice. The kitchen, you wouldn't even recognize the kitchen. Forget about this crap. But yeah, it was like this granny's cabinets right here, granny's double stove, granny's fridge, granny's flooring. We changed all this crap, bro.
Wow.
Here, man, beautiful top. Ooh, boy.
Oh man,
I wouldn't even recognize this house. This right here is gone. Look at these colors.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
So we changed all these guys. Full renovation. Bang, 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 bang. Anyway. Here it looks nice. Now, this is an as-is. That's what Mr. Captain means. This is an as-is. This would be as-is comparable. Now, when you're making cash offers, guys, you absolutely 100% need an as-is offer, as-is comp. This is one mistake people make.
Yep.
Unless you're experienced and you know how to come up with your offer without an as-is, so you know how to deduct, based on the ARV, then you deduct your repairs, then you deduct miscellaneous, then you deduct closing fees, all of that, then come up with your offer. Then you deduct your wholesale fee, blah, blah, blah. Unless you can do that, it's really important to actually find the as-is offer because it tells you where a cash buyer would buy that property at. And I've made a bunch of high assignments by finding both an ARV, like fixed up ARV, and then going and finding as-is ARV to see, hey, and typically what I do is this, guys. If you're using Zillow, here's what you do, right? So here's how I comp. You guys can still, Mr. Captain, you can still see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when I'm comping on Zillow, guys, absolutely free, 99. Gonna make a song for you guys. I typically open two windows. Guys. Bang. Now you can use other applications like I love PropStream, but you have to pay for that. Okay. For all the people out there that says I'm broke, you don't have to use that. All right, so I open two windows. Here's why I open two windows. Because I want to have my comps and my subject properties side by side. Almost look at everything that, Mr. Captain went over earlier. I want to be able to look at these things really quick side by side. So go windows to window. That's why I do this. Okay?
Before we continue, all we can see is the Zillow. That's it. So
is the Zillow all you can see. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, guys, is because
$3.99.
Is because on StreamYard, I think you can only share one window at a time. That's why. Yeah. I don't think you can share more. Let me see. Yeah, you can, bro. So that's why. But right now, guys, I have two windows open. So I'm just going to talk through it. Okay. What up, G? Mr. Andrew?
Yo,
All right.
boom spot in the house. Let's
Actually,
go.
Andrew is the one who door knocked this seller him, and she called his wife. And we had 4 competitors on this property, bunch of clowns making fake offers. And obviously they had sticky notes, like even the seller had one of their sticky notes on her nose. That's how many sticky notes they left in this house.
Oh my god.
She was walking with a sticky note. Okay.
I love it.
So if you watch it right now, even though you lied to the seller on us, we still got the deal. You freaking bastard.
I love it.
Anyway.
I love it.
Let's see. Where was I going? Sorry. Every time I think about that shit pissed me off. Okay. So guys, so not right now. Okay, boom. So what I do is this, right? Tell me if you can see this, Mr. Yasser, right? So the first thing I do is this, guys. I click on this X. Can you see that?
Now, before you do that, take note of what the specifications of this property. So it's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath,
Right.
2233 square feet.
2233 square feet. Yes. So what I do is this. The first thing I do is this. You guys can see this, right? Okay, boom. So I come here and I repaste the actual address. So first I change this. Obviously, it's already installed, so I leave it the way it is. Here I go into more. What I'm trying to do here is I don't want to see anything that's sold over 12 months. Okay. Now, typically I like to start right now in this market. I like to start with 6 months. Okay. Sometimes I'll start with 90 days, but let's just go with 6 months. Okay. So 6 months, boom, I leave it the way it is. Sometimes I'll play with this, but if you play too much with the settings, you won't get anything. So I'm just gonna repaste the address here. Guys, you're gonna find your own style, okay? Don't make it complicated. So now the address pops again, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back into the X one more time, click on it, bang, and this is the map I'm trying to see. I love this map. It literally shows you the area, right? So you see this right here. So our subject property is, I think, this one right here. So you can see this is like
166, right? Is the subject property?
I don't know. Hold on, give me one second. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Boom.
That's the one right there.
It's probably this one. Yes, this is the subject property right here, guys. Now, why do I love this? Because it shows me the streets. I can see if I'm crossing a major road, all these things. What are the dots that I'm looking for, guys? I'm looking for these yellow dots. You see these yellow dots? When you see yellow like this, that means this is a sold property. Okay. Now it doesn't mean is a fix and flip. For you to find out, you're gonna have to click on it. Now this is easy peasy. Look at this. Our subject property is here. That means our subject property is facing this road, right? And I can tell I cannot drive any further. So this is it a cul-de-sac you call this?
Yes, sir. Yep.
In good English. Okay, boom. Our comparable is right here. What does that tell me also? That tells me my comparable here, this one, if it's a good one, is on the same side of the street of my subject property. And is in the same subdivision 100%. I'm not crossing any major roads. So this is like, I love this map. This is why I like to use Zillow. PropStream, sometimes you might miss this because like you learn like, hey, don't go over half a mile, whatever. But I don't know if it shows this kind of map. I'm not sure. I haven't used PropStream for a while. My team does.
PropStream not to knock PropStream. We use it for other reasons, but when it comes to comping on PropStream, it is pretty tough. You have to be very knowledgeable.
You have to be experienced. Yeah, you have to know what you're doing.
If you're visual, Zillow is much better.
Zillow is so I'm a visual person, right? And another thing, guys, Zillow actually invested in a technology like not too long ago. Now their comps are super badass and very, very accurate. Okay. Not 100%. You will never get 100%, but they're very, very close. Okay. And one caveat about Zillow also, guys, sometimes you look at an ARV, like that Zestimate number is actually, if you can sometimes lock up the seller at that number, is actually below actual fixed up ARV. Because Zillow doesn't see the inside of the property. So Zillow sometimes is just giving you what Zillow think that house is worth as is.
And then also based on the appreciation rate.
So sometimes, sometimes you can get a huge discount locking up properties at the Zestimate number if you find a comp that is higher than the Zestimate. Because guess what? Most homeowners don't know how to comp. Do you know that? That's number one. And because they don't know how to comp, guess what they do? They pull up their address on Zillow. Everybody and their mom uses Zillow. Okay? And their auntie. Let me not say mom for somebody to get offended. Everybody and their auntie uses Zillow. So when they go on Zillow, they don't know how to comp. You know what they look at? They look at the Zestimate number. Once they see the Zestimate and you call them and they're like, no, I don't want to tell you what number I want. You make me an offer. And then if you're really badass, like Mr. Yasser here on the phone, and you convince them to spit out the number, guess what the number they come up with? Well, Zillow says that my house with that 1970s beautiful wall paint is worth 170, and that's what I want.
Yep.
Great.
I actually got a seller to say that to me. I was like, so how much do you want? And they're like, you know, how much are you looking to sell it for? And then they kept on dancing around the question, right? And I knew, I'm like, so let me help me understand. What is Zillow telling you in front of you? You know? And then they said it. He was like, "Oh man, you got me." You know?
They go to. So here you go, guys. So let me first pull up. I'm gonna show you guys this. Let me first pull up the subject property. Okay. Look at this. What does Zillow say? Zillow says 166. What is the 166? You think? This is the price that is sold. You can see that here. What he's saying is this is what the sellers bought it for. No, actually, no. He's saying this is what we bought it for because this is 2023.
Yeah, 2023.
This is when we bought it. Okay. Yeah. Now, mind you, guys, we bought this property off market. It was not listed on the MLS. No, I think it was listed and then took down. I'm not really sure, but we bought it off market anyway. One great thing about this, also, guys, when you're looking at this right here, is because we made a wholesale fee up front. That wholesale fee is not listed here, is not public. So that means actually 166 is pretty conservative on the as is. Does that make sense, guys? When you're making cash offers, this is badass when you look at it like this, okay? Now, with that being said, it's saying 166. So this tells me, oh, okay, as is. Bro, can you guess how much Yasser overall we bought this? Like if we bought it creatively, but all in, how much we're all in like when we close on the cash?
I'm not sure. What is it?
Okay. We were all in at I think 190. Yeah, 190. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Nice.
So very conservative. Now let's look at the comparable, guys. So this is the few things that Mr. Yasser spoke about that I'm paying attention to: bed and bath count, BEM, square footage, BEM, and then I click on home details here, this tab, and then I go here and I read these features right here, right? Year built 1993, super important, single family, so that I'm not comparing it to a multifamily or a townhouse, right? You see right here, single family. I want to stick to single families. Lot. Right, I look at this. I love this. HOA. Typically, I love to find out. I don't know if you do this. Yeah, sir. I'm sure you do. But the subdivision. I love to see. I love to know what the subdivision is. Let me see. Neighborhood. Where is this? Subdivision. I know they put it somewhere. Look at this, guys. It's saying Zestimate range. You see that, guys? Zestimate range for Zillow. Fix up. Zillow is thinking potentially you could sell this between 324 to 369. It's just giving you a range.
But check what happens.
Right?
Look where the estimate is. Look where the estimate is compared to the range. It's right in the middle of the range.
Yeah. Right? Bang. Look at this. Now, if we go here, guys, look at this comparable, this yellow dot right here. By the way, guys, you guys see it right now. I'm not hovering on the screen. Okay. If you come in on Zillow, and this dot right here that is yellow, if the dot is green, what is that? Do you know that, Ezra?
That means it's active, right? The green one?
Yeah, the green one. Yeah, let me see.
Green should be active. From what I don't pay attention to their colors, bro. I think I'm colorblind at this point.
No, I think the green on you're right. It might be the active. Which one then is cash? There is a dot on Zillow that shows the cash.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember the color.
Green. I think it's green, but it's fine. I'm gonna find out. Anyway, guys, look at this. 166, 360. Now we're gonna look at the comparable. Now look at this. I love this comparable, guys. As you guys can see, it's right there. It's literally our subject property is right here. Is right here. If this one is apples to apples, perfect. This is your best case scenario. Don't always happen. Yasser already told you earlier what to do if you cannot find it, but this is the one we went with, right? At the time, this property was listed, I think, at 375. It went on the market a couple of times. The realtor took it off market, then relisted because it wasn't selling, then discounted it $5,000, whatever. It literally just sold. I was afraid that this property will be on the market until we finish our renovation because I'm like, shit, you're gonna kill our,
deal, yeah,
our deal, yeah. So look at this, 2021,
right?
2139, right? The
Yeah.
square footage of my property is 2,233. Okay. This one right here, it says 4.2. Mine is 4 what? 4.3. Okay.
4.3.
Let's see. Now the layout is a little bit different, but actually, I actually walked this property. No, I didn't walk it. Andrew and Steve walked this property. You know what was the issue, Yasser? This is a homeowner. Number one, is not an investor, and they renovated the property. And I think the seller went with the realtor's recommendation on the GC.
Oh,
And
okay.
the renovation was shit, bro. It looked good on
Yeah.
pictures, but when you walk in, oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
So that's the reason why it was on the market for so long. It looked really nice on the pictures. When you walk in, the imperfections, all that crap. Plus, because he's a homeowner, guess what? They probably charge this person top dollar.
Oh yeah, retail value and
Right.
materials. Oh, by the way, Mamadou, I'm pretty sure you do
Yeah,
this.
go ahead.
If you are renovating, fix and flip, okay? If you're getting quotes from a GC, general contractor, there's two types of quotes. I want you to picture this. It's two things that put a property together, okay? Labor and materials. You want, the way I do it, because I've been doing it for a long time, I actually look at it from the labor perspective. Give me a quote for just labor only. Give me a quote with labor materials. And the reason why, I want to see if they're going to try to see if they're going to upcharge me, which they will. All right. This is what Mamadou is talking about. If you're a homeowner like this guy here, all right, on Martingale Drive, they're a homeowner, so they're going to get charged retail value. We're not homeowners. We do this professionally, right? So when you're working with a GC, a general contractor, make sure you get labor only quote and labor and materials, right? So separate them, and then also you provide the materials. Okay.
Right.
I personally do. I don't know if you guys do the same thing, but I don't like to be upcharged on a $10 piece and then pay $15 for it.
$15. Yeah.
The next thing you know, your repair budget is out the window, right? So be careful with that, guys. You know, being charged for materials, upcharge on the materials. A lot of contractors do that. That's why you want those different types of quotes. Just
that's where the nickel and dime you. If you let them buy the material, you are effed. Huge mistake. Like he said, get both quotes, compare it, but be the one who buys the material. Get the receipts. They can go pick it up, not a problem. But you can call Home Depot, make your own orders, blah, blah. Just have them send you the measurements. By the way, this is why when you start getting into the fix and flip realm, you cannot do this by yourself. Good luck. If you try to do this shit by yourself, everybody I see trying to do this by themselves is like, okay, because now you're not chasing deals because you're too busy calling Home Depot, then ordering material, blah, blah. But if you're working with people, making money with them, now you can divide and conquer. Hey, I'm going to focus on following up with this seller. Can you call for us, Home Depot, and or make, you know what I mean? Like, otherwise, guys, trust me. By the way, you do not want to be a full-time fix and flipper. I don't know much full-time fix and flippers that have any money. They're gamblers, okay? So you do not want to be a full-time fix and flipper. You do want flip to be one of your strategies, but full-time fix and flipper, I don't know many of them that have anything.
You know what it reminds me of, Mamadou? It's kind of like the rat race. Because you're going from one deal to the other. It just takes a little bit longer, a couple of months to renovate. So you're going from one to another. But I got to say this. I do know some people out there, and shout out to you guys. You guys are freaking troopers for doing this. Managing 5, 6, 7, 10 renovations at the same time. Well, that's pretty freaking cool. To me, I'm more of a I like to just chill, you know. I like to just chill.
Most people have a big team.
Busy, you know. My life is so
busy. Most people have a big team. I mean, those people have things like project managers, operation managers. Like, guys, you get to that level. If you're at that level, you can do that. But it's super dangerous, though. Like, how many people, when a crash happens, they had like fucking 15 flips going and everything go down the drain.
Everything went down the drain.
That's gambling to me, right? So like you want to be really mindful of that because the market doesn't warn you when it's about to shift, just so you know. You can wake up in the morning and it's a shit show. So you want to be super conservative. And then another thing is my first flip, Yasser, I worked with a GC who was over his 60s, right? Very cool guy, but super bitter about life, like always complaining, super negative kind of guy. I'm a young dude, from my
Happy.
exotic accent from nowhere,
Yeah.
happy,
Right.
right? And he's looking at me like, you could be my son. I'm coming to the job site. I'm giving him orders. And he's always like, dude, like, how you give me orders? I'm older than you, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, I'm cutting you a check. Like, you working for me. If you're working on my project, you're working for me. I'm sorry. But I put it into perspective. The problem with this guy is this. He's flipped his whole life. He's a full-time flipper himself. He's a licensed GC, full-time flipper. His wife is his designer. They're all old now, all of them. His wife is on his ass to build her retirement home, which he can't. You know why? Because he's too busy going on job sites like mine for whatever check he's getting, right? Fine.
Yes, sir.
He's bitter because he's like, all these young people giving me all this, blah, blah. And then I ask him, hey, why have you never kept any properties for cash flow? He had like one.
Thank
you. Know what his reason was? Oh yeah, I don't like toilet leaks. Oh yeah, tenants are just like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. I said, bro, listen. Think about this, right? Like logically think about this. You've dealt with crews, managing crews, subcontractors your whole damn life.
Right.
You've been doing this for 30 years plus. And you telling me that the worst thing you could have done is dealing with toilet leaks? And now because you don't have any cash flow, you have to show up at job sites at over 60 and you're pissed off at a young person like me cutting you a check because you're working for me and giving you orders saying, hey, timeline, buddy. And you're mad at it. I'm like, it's your fault. You should have kept some freaking properties for cash flow so you don't have to show up at a job site right now. And I said, you could have even automated yourself right now and became a consultant if really you would have thought about like a business owner, because guess what? All these crews, you have in-house crew, you're flipping your own houses and you're flipping other people's houses. You could have literally now became just a freaking consultant. Okay, you don't have kids, fine. Or your kids don't care about this real estate stuff, fine. Could you have picked up a hungry young person, train them hands-on, follow you around, and now they can take this over, go do the work, pay you X amount when they're done with the renovation because you're a consultant, they're using your license. Bang. He was like, bro, you're too young to give me those advice. I'm like, okay, bro. Okay.
Well, have fun. Knock yourself out.
Fun.
I'm gonna so and that's shout out to Alberto, bro. Love you, man. Good stuff. Action taker and a half right there, bro. So with that being said, there's a difference between rich and wealthy, right, Mamadou?
Very.
Rich and wealthy. You could be rich, but you can't be wealthy, right? So wealthy is long-term money. Okay. Rich is like, oh, I did a fix and flip. I got 6 figures, but that's not going to last long. Ask a lot of people that we know. Right. So let's continue on, man. So we got a 4-2.
Guys, so boom. Let me see. You can still see. Okay. So here, very simple, guys. I just go over this like really quick. Right. So typically, what I'll try to do is for me now, I'm not lazy. Right. I told my team this and I'm sure I think they did it. Andrew or Steve did it. This is a property that was listed when I was looking at it. So it was not a comp. Why wasn't it a comp, Yasser?
Because if everything's selling for $500,000, the neighbor down the street could ask for $1 million for their property. Are they going to get it? No. So they could ask for whatever they want, but the market is not selling for 500. If there's not selling for $1 million, they're never going to get it. So
it's not a comp until it closes. At the time when I started my renovation, it was listed, it was on the market. So it was not a comp. It was a potential comp. But until it closes at that number, guess what? It is not a comp. But we couldn't find a lot of data in this area because this type of neighborhoods is a great neighborhood, but it's not a fix and flip neighborhood necessarily. Most people have owned their properties for a long time. So it's kind of hard to find comparables. So like this one, I told my team right away, because I don't like the lazy route. Call the realtor and see why this haven't sold. It's been like, I don't know how long. And tell them again, hey, we're about to renovate a property right next door. We might use you as a realtor so that they can talk to you, right? So ask them questions. And then if you can, even when you're going to walk a subject property, because at this point we have it under contract, go walk this property. That's how we know that the work was shitty. Go walk it. They do things like what is it? Open, what do you call it? Open like the day where the realtor is up is they open the door, everybody can walk. Huh? No.
Open house.
Open house. Thank you. Open house. I was losing my word.
Yeah.
So they do like things like open houses. Go walk it. Walk the property, see the renovations that have been done. And also, guess what? If this property has sold within like the first 30 days or 60 days, that tells me this is a really good comp because look, the mine is bigger in square footage and all of that, but year built is almost the same, like just 2 years apart. Lot size is the absolute same subdivision, all of that. But guess what? This I don't need to look any further, apples to apples, right? So if I go in, I can inspire myself. Let's say this is a new neighborhood, which it was our first renovation here. Now I can look at this renovation and go, you know what? I don't have to do anything different here when it comes to the renovations because people here like this kind of like style. I don't have to go and put like Gucci floors, not necessary to sell. So
I love your metaphors today, bro. You're on point with them, bro.
So-
I do want to see that though. That would be awesome to see.
oh, that would be awesome, right? I'm sure one of these Atlanta stupid rappers would probably do it. But anyway, look at this 360. You know, he sold 360. It took a little while to sell at 360, but at least now I know what my worst case scenario is on my property. My worst case scenario, because we did such a beautiful renovation, guess what? It's going to be 360, but we're actually going to list this property at 380 or 390, if I'm not mistaken, because ours like badass renovation. The backyard is, oh my gosh. We went above and beyond a little bit, not like putting Gucci floors, but we went above and beyond in terms of that. So still conservative, but we're definitely going to list it over this price right here for sure. That's 100%.
I love it.
So, you know, hopefully worst case scenario on this fix and flip, guys, we're going to land, we're going to end up with worst case scenario, 40 grand. That's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, 50, 60. That's not bad for, you know, a maximum 4 months type of renovation. Again, guys, I love Zillow. I absolutely love Zillow. By the way, please, we live in 2024. It's so easy to go on Zillow. There is bunch of people that have created videos on comping on Zillow. The one that I like the most is Jamil Demzi. I think he kept it. That's how you pronounce his last name, right?
Jamil Damji, man. Shout out
Jamil
to him,
Damji. Okay, Jamil Damji. Shout out to Jamil Damji. I actually like the guy because when we met, we bonded on Tupac. Tupac is my favorite artist ever, and he actually have Tupac's tattoo.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, hey, Tupac is the one that taught me English, and he was taking it back. He was like, "What the fuck? What is this guy talking about?" Right? So I had to explain to him. He was like, that nigga's been dead before you were born. What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness.
So I was like, no, that's not what I mean. What I mean is when I was learning English in the refugee camp, I was printing his lyrics and then translating it into French.
Love it.
That's how I started learning English. So he taught me English. Does that make sense?
There you go.
So boom. Guys, I mean, anything I need to add, yes?
Yeah, I mean, you know, typically, you know, I just there's I actually slipped my mind. Typically when you're looking at do you know why we say the same subdivision? Here's why. When developers come in and look at land, okay, they're looking at land, they're plotting it out, and they're gonna say, I'm gonna, you know, build a whole bunch of houses here, right? And all the houses are gonna pretty much essentially kind of look the same. All right.
Yeah.
So when you are comping, one of the things that a lot of people fall for, and I've consulted on so many cases with this, they want to over Gucci floors, right? Gucci floors, Gucci pool, right? And it's like, why are you putting a pool? You see what I mean? This is my Italian, you know, why are you putting a pool? The reason why is because they think that the pool is going to add value. It's not, right? Do you know why? Because if the other comps in the area in the same subdivision don't have pools, you're not going to get what you think you're going to get because it's not conforming. All right. So it has to be conforming with everything that happened. By the way, pools is one thing, right? Changing the roof to something completely out of the normal. That's not going to add value. I'm telling you right now, it's not. Okay. So when I'm looking at, you know, non-grandma's house, I'm talking actual fix and flips, right? We're looking at the materials too. What are they using? What kind of cabinets? What colors are they using? All right. Because we want to kind of come in, and then this is my favorite. We're going to add some sizzle features. All right. Something that competitive advantage that adds a little bit more. All right. But not too much more where we blow our budget. Okay. So if they're putting in like, stand up shower, stuff like that, I'll put stand up shower with maybe like a rainfall. That doesn't
Mm-hmm.
cost a lot of money to do. It's not going to
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to spend $20,000 doing it. Do you see what I mean? Couple
Mm-hmm.
$100, but it adds value, right? And it puts me above the other competition. But I don't go and put a 20, 30, $40,000 pool where it doesn't make sense in the area. So that's something that I want you guys to kind of keep pay attention to, because just because you saw it on all those shows, fix and flip shows, and they fix and flip for 30 minutes doesn't mean it's going to be like that. Okay. And also take the emotion out of it. Put your head and your heart into a buyer's body. Okay. Because you're not doing it for you. You're not doing it for you to live there. You're doing it for
Right.
some family to buy from you. Okay. So walk your property when you are envisioning it. Okay. How would this property look like renovated? And if I was a
Right.
buyer, what would I want to see here? Okay. So stop thinking like an investor emotionally and start thinking like a buyer emotionally, if that makes
Right.
sense. Okay. So with that being said, anything else?
No, that's it for today, guys. You guys had enough value. It's been an hour. We're out of here. Got some other stuff to do, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. I see you, Layla, badass Layla. I see you, girl. I see you. I think Zina is pronounced. I'm not sure. Facebook
Zina,
user
yeah.
Andrew. I see you, Alberto. I see you. Thank you guys for jumping in with us, and everybody else that is going to watch in the future. Make sure you take action. Make sure you apply anything you hear. Just try it. It doesn't cost you anything. Like I gave you the tip on how to practice comping every single day. It's going to save you so much time instead of DMing people. Listen, if you could just learn to follow simple instructions, ABC stuff, it's going to make your life so much easier. It's going to save you so much time, and you're going to be ahead of the game much faster, because 99.9% of people are brutally lazy. And if you're not one, guess what? You tune into the right show. And yeah, guys, that's it. Mamadou Diallo, Mr. Boom. Again, guys, this is where we're bold and brave. We're obsessed. Okay, I eat, sleep, drink, everything that we do, real estate, like everything that we do, right? And then on top of that, obviously we're optimistic, right? We always think positive. And then the last thing is that full circle. The M stands for mindset, because without the right mindset, nothing else is going to happen. So that's what you see here. Boom. I see you guys.
I love it. Love it. Love it. And with that being said, I actually want to share one thing before we go.
There we go.
We stopped a foreclosure yesterday and we stopped one today. So let's go, man. I had a family yesterday and I had a older woman, I'm going to say above 75, being almost potentially kicked out of her house because of her husband passing away. So shout out to this woman who found me on Facebook, by the way, and told me, hey, I need your help. So if you are watching, I'm here to help you guys. Mamadou is here to help you guys. Reach out to us. Mamadou, where did they reach out to you? How did they get in contact?
Reach out to me on Instagram. I'm super active on Instagram, super responsive to all my DMs at Real Estate Diallo, at Real Estate Diallo, the handsomest and baddest Diallo out there. So everybody else, you can just overlook them.
Overlook them, right? And as for me, you can reach me on Instagram. I answer my DMs. I'm busy, guys, but I still answer my DMs. I am the property captain. With that being said, be bold
and stay bold.
Love it. See you guys.